Hello, my name is AJ. I'm your Hypoxix coach for today, and we have level 3.5 chair teaser. This is a level 3 movement and a level 5 breathography where we're adding in our 6-beat breath retention at the conclusion of each of our engaged exhalations. We want to make sure that you can feel the ab ribbon loosening on the soft shish and the loud shish of the engaged exhale, and you want to keep it loose for each of those breath retentions. So we're using the breath retentions to strengthen our core at the end of the exhalation, strengthening the endurance, the hold in all those fibers that activate when we completely exhale. And then also we're improving our carbon dioxide tolerance both inside the exercise session and outside, which equates into less stress triggers. It's a really interesting phenomenon. And isn't it amazing that we can reduce our stress by performing an exercise that also is going to enhance our core strength and reduce our lower back pain. Now, for today, test yourself. At the end of your exhale, can you feel when you're in that leaning back teaser position, can you feel the ab ribbon getting loose? That's essential. If you can't, you may need to loosen your ribbon just a bit so that you can feel the difference between the two, just the natural thickening of the waist circumference when we go in the lean back position, totally normal. You may just need to loosen the ab ribbon a little bit. Otherwise, if you still can't, you just need to reduce the resistance of the exercise so that you can get that deep core integrated with every single exhale. So you can start in the upright position here or reduce or go to level 1 or level 2 of this chair teaser exercise. Okay, let's put the mini ball in between the inner thighs to begin. If you're working with a Hypoxix coach and they've suggested a variation on this exercise, you always want to follow that because that's there to optimize your program. Okay, so ball is in between the inner thighs. Not only is it there to engage the inner thighs and more deeply engage the deep core, but it's also there to serve as a point of tactile feedback. So the tactile feedback, if that ball starts moving around too much while you're performing the exercise, you probably have lost your pelvic stability. So it's essential to use tools like your mini ball, your ab ribbon, the chair, all these points that you're connecting to as tactile feedback to remind you that you're performing the exercise in the correct way, especially in a virtual session where you may not be in person with a coach. This is your coach, this is your coach, this is your coach. Okay, so now this exercise is as much a postural exercise as it is a core exercise. So pull the shoulder blades together. The shoulder blades will be pulled together the whole time. You're also screwing your hands into the chair like this. So if the floor were slippery, it would turn out, and also pushing the hands forward in space. So if the chair were slippery, they would push forward. So it's a screw and a push, but keeping those shoulder blades back. Now I have a very narrow stool here. This is the one I use in my total body sessions. You can use the heels of your hands to do the same thing if you have a small stool like mine. So you screw the hands, you push them forward, shoulder blades together. Now the head is pushing back in Hypoxix headstands. That's a combination of pushing back into a pair of imaginary hands and using those hands to pull the head up. You're heightening the spine the whole time as you go back, decompressing the spine, always growing taller with these core exercises. That's also part of the visualization that we'll get into when you close your eyes. Now, the pelvis, close your eyes. You feel the sit bones connected to the chair. Make sure there's not more pressure on the right or the left sit bone. Try to be equally weighted between the two sit bones, and then you want to find your neutral. So you don't want to be forward toward the pubic bone, and you don't want to be back crushing the tailbone. You want to be about halfway between those 2 points, and then when we lean back for that teaser, you want to try to maintain that pressure on a similar point on the sit bone. You don't want to roll back to the tailbone, and you don't want to roll forward to the pubic bone. And you're going to feel if you're using your low back when you bring your feet off the ground in this one, because this is our level 3. You're going to feel if you are not properly engaged. That engaged exhale is going to help you stay engaged as you loosen the ribbon and get a balance between the hip flexors and the abdominals, because we are also training the hip flexors here. It's a myth that you shouldn't use your hip flexors in core exercises. You absolutely should. That is part of the core. We need to strengthen them, but we just want to make sure that the abs are working as well. So if you don't feel any abs here, then you want to take it down to level 1 or level 2 for this one. Okay, I think we've covered it. So let's find the neutral. You're going to lean back, screw the hands, shoulder blades together. We have 3 sets of the 6-beat breath retention here. Let's take it from our posture. Zip up. Inhale. Hiss. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 1. Inhale 2. And blow. Loosen your ribbon. You're holding 6. 5. Head back. 4, 3, 2, and 1, and inhale. Feel the ribbon. Hands pushing forward. Drain the air you're holding. 6, 5, squeeze the ball. 4, 3, 2, head back in. 1, and inhale. Inhale. grow taller. Shh, head back. Shh, loosen your ribbon. Keep it loose for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you're finished. Now, one element that you can start to add after you learn the exercise is closing your eyes during the exercise. Closing the eyes, deepening the connection between your ab ribbon and the abdomen so that you feel the difference between tight and loose over the course of the breath cycle is so essential. And you'll add that on as you become more advanced at the exercise.